Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the FRT Cheltenham preview evening. It's me, Joe, here from Free Racing Tips and FRT Gold. Hope you're all doing well and looking forward to the festival. It feels like Christmas Eve, doesn't it? We've got 4 days of outstanding racing to come, and the wait is finally over. You know, as soon as the year turns, I think, as soon as you get to New Year's Day, it really is that countdown to Cheltenham, isn't it? And there's, you know, we've been to all the preview evenings. We've had all of the talk, which is the Mullins banker. Is he going to do the ACCA? Which horse is in, out? What races are they going to go for? Don't worry about that anymore. The action starts now. And through the next sort of 50 minutes or so, we're going to hopefully guide you through some good winners for the festival. And yeah, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for getting your questions in early. We'll read them out at the end. So the way this is going to work, we're going to have 10 minutes or so on each of the 4 championship races. So the Champion Hurdle on day 1, the Champion Chase on day 2, the World Hurdle on day 3, and of course the big one, the Cheltenham Gold Cup. And then we'll spend 10 minutes or so us answering your guys' questions that you've asked throughout the day. Thank you for getting those into us. Absolutely superb to get all of those questions in, and yeah, we'll do my best to answer as many as possible. No way, unfortunately, am I going to be able to answer them all, as there are just so many of them, but that's great. And yeah, let's get stuck in, shall we? The first race, I think the Tuesday is just hyped more than any other day, isn't it? It's the best day in racing, bar none. Last year, what an outstanding day it was. The Mullins 4-timer was on. Duvan bolted up, Underso bolted up, Forheen bolted up in the Champion Hurdle. Annie Power coming to the last. No more said. We don't need to go over that anymore. But in that Champion Hurdle, Annie Power is the favourite for the race. Who would have thought this a few weeks ago? Forheen, of course, withdrawn from the race, a sore suspensory. He'll come back fighting and he'll win next year's Champion Hurdle, I would have thought. But the Mullins team, such as the strength they have, they decided to switch Annie Power from the Mares Hurdle, supplementer for the Champion Hurdle, 20 grand for Rich Ritchie. What's that? It's pocket money, really, isn't it? So he supplemented her for that, and absolutely, it really does add something to the race. Forheen, it's horrible when a champion comes out of a race. Forheen was going to be 1 to 3. He was going to bolt up. Absolutely no doubt about that, in my opinion. But with Forheen out of the race, now we've got a really interesting betting heat, haven't we? And what we're going to do is bring up the odds currently for the Champion Hurdle. As always, a superb race, the Champion Hurdle. 2 miles they'll go, an absolutely blistering gallop. There's no doubt about that. And yeah, hopefully you should now be seeing the odds on screen as we screen share this for you right now. So that should be coming up for you guys in just a second. So here we are. This is the Champion Hurdle. Then you've got Annie Power, your 5 to 2 in a place favourite. Paddy Power, they're paying a good price. Sky Bet 2, those are the ones you want to go with. So you do want to search for that value as well. And one thing I would say, guys, for all tips is possibly just wait until the morning. You might get that little bit more value, but 5 to 2 Annie Power favourite at the moment. 11 to 2, the new one. He's certainly coming for a bit of money, hasn't he? The horse looking to make it 3rd time lucky at the Cheltenham Festival. Not sure on that one personally. Nichols Canyon, a 6 to 1 shot, hard as they can, but as he got the class for this, we'll soon see. Identity Thief also a sort of 6 to 1 shot. But look at this, Bet Victor Coral William Hill, absolutely going for him, 15 to 2. How about some of that? All bookies paying 3 places and quarter the odds as well, apart from this William Hill. Yeah, that's shocking. They should be quarter the odds, not 5th. So Identity Thief in there. Yeah, the few people going after him. My 10th or yours. This is ridiculous that this horse is this short, you might say, but a bit of a variety, a bit of a difference in opinion from my 10th or yours there. And then it's 16 to 1 bar the rest. So let's start with the favourite, shall we? Let's start with Annie Power, and 5 to 2 favourite at the moment. Does she deserve to be that? I suppose she does. She's an outstanding mare. There's no doubt about that. She's getting £7 from the boys here. She does get some weight for them, but I can't have her at that price personally. I think Annie Power, as I said, is an excellent horse, but 5 to 2 in a Champion Hurdle. You know, she's been campaigned for the World Hurdle a couple of years ago. She had the Mares Hurdle last year. Was campaigned for that Mares Hurdle here. I'm not saying she's got a lack of speed, but I'm just unsure whether 2 miles is her absolute ideal trip at the moment when they're going to, and I just don't know what they're quite going to do with it. Is she going to be free, or will they go quick enough? Could she even go out in front? I don't think she'll be able to get the lead. That even if Ruby Walsh wanted to, I don't think he'd be able to get it. So I'm not having any power at the moment. If a bookie goes a ridiculous price, if you it wouldn't be beyond the realms that they start going 3-1, 7-2 about any power. But personally, I wouldn't be with her at the prices at this moment. And as I say, I think she's an outstanding mare. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, not for me at the moment. I think there's more solid options in here that I think will really run their race. And as I say, it's a cracking betting heat now. And was 11th favourite. The vibes from the tour really strong on the new one, and they absolutely love this horse. And of course they would. He's been a superb servant for them. But he's been called all names under the sun, really, hasn't he? But there's no doubt that the new one is a top quality horse. But in his 2 times at Cheltenham so far, for me, or in the Cheltenham Festival, people say he was unlucky a couple of years ago when hampered by Arcona. But I'm not a fan of seeing horses go past beaten ones and stay on late and saying they're unlucky. Last year he couldn't get near the likes of four. Not there. Hurricane Fly in third, not there. Jeski fourth, not there this year. So he's, on form, I suppose you could say the new one is the one to beat, but I just don't think he's a proper 2-miler, and I don't think that the Champion Hurdle is the right race for him. I can see him getting outpaced at a crucial stage, possibly staying on again. I can't have him out the first 3. I think he'll finish in the first 3, but he's not for me at the moment. I mean, at 20-1 anti-post when Fahim was in there, and I thought possibly, but no, not 6-1. I can't have him. Nichols Canyon. Now I think we're talking. Everyone I've spoken to has written off Nichols Canyon. Apparently he's got no chance here, and he's had too tough a race over Christmas. And yes, he did have a tough race over Christmas, and I think that showed in the Irish Champion Hurdle where he was absolutely thumped. Is probably a generous word to use by Fahim in that race, but I think that Nichols Canyon is as tough as they come. He stays further than 2 miles, which I think you need in a Champion Hurdle horse. He's got plenty of speed. He'll enjoy this good ground. I'm not saying he's going to get an easy time out of it out in front, because I think Camping Ground could look to go there with him. But Camping Ground's a 20-1 shot that I personally can't have at all. And I think that, if Paul Townend wants to make the run, and I think he can do just that. But I don't think it's vital that Nichols Canyon leads, but he does need to be prominent. He's the only horse to beat Fahim. You can say what you like about Fahim being off on that day and not right. That's true, but he still beat Fahim. And, who's to say that first time out last year, he might be a horse that always needs a run. And first time out last year, he might have needed the run, but still absolutely thrashed his opposition. So I'd personally be with Nichols Canyon at 6-1. I think that's a great price. If you want to bet each way, go for it. I'm personally more of a win-only bet on that type of price. And I think Nichols Canyon, for me at the moment, is definitely the one. I was with him 10-1 anti-post as well, so have got some value there. But yeah, I think 6-1 is a good price. Nichols Canyon, he's a multiple grade 1 winner. He comes really well in the spring. Superb at Aintree last time out. Wasn't given the best of rides at the Cheltenham Festival last year, where it was a real test of speed that didn't suit him after a slowly run race. But I think he'll go out in front here. He'll go well. I think he'll stay. He's as tough as they come. He's got class. He's a grade 1 winner. He's got Paul Townend on board. And for me, despite the fact, I think a lot of people can get put off a bit too much by what they hear from, everyone on the circuit saying, "Oh, I'm not sure. I can't have the Nichols Canyon at the prices." But for me, I've been with him and I've seen nothing to change my mind. I personally think that Nichols Canyon is a good bet for the Champion Hurdle. So a couple more minutes on Champion Hurdle. So we'll just talk about a couple more in their Identity Thief. Currently a 6-1 shot, 15-2 in places, isn't he? As we saw, this horse was beaten by Nichols Canyon last time out, and then Henry de Bromhead, pretty shrewd, I think, in then giving the horse a break and not going for that Irish Champion Hurdle, coming here fresh. He's a horse that is open to improvement, no doubt about that. I think he'll enjoy this better ground, and he's going there fresh and well. But this is a champion hurdle. You can obviously make cases for a lot of them. You're going to have to rule some of them out, and I think Identity Thief has a good chance, but I would side with Nichols Canyon in this. I know it was a really, really testing race, and he travelled like the better horse against Nichols Canyon over Christmas, but I do think that Nichols Canyon has been given a couple of months break, and he'll come here fresh as well. And I do expect him to uphold that form. And I would actually put Identity Thief as a big, big danger to Nichols Canyon, no doubt about that. But I'd just side with the Willie Mullins runner here. So yeah, Identity Thief very much feared, but not for me at the moment. I could be wrong, but you've got to stick your neck out in this game. Right, we've got a minute or so to talk about this. My 10 or yours. How anyone can back him at 10-1, I don't know. If he goes and wins, I'll stand up, I'll clap my hands, and I'll say, Nicky Henderson, what an outstanding training performance. He hasn't been seen on the track for 2 years. He's got a reputation for being really, really keen and fresh. So God knows Barry Geraghty is going to be, I think he's going to have sore arms for the rest of the day, taking that much of a hold on this horse. Can't have him at the prices. And yeah, it's one of those, if I back something else and he wins, I'm not going to be gutted I didn't back him at 10-1 because I can't have him at the prices. Top notch, good horse, enough class for a champion hurdle, possibly not. Camping ground, I think he wants soft ground. I don't think he's going to enjoy this kind of ground over 2 miles. I think ideally what he wants is 2.5 miles on soft ground, personally. So not with him. Peace and Co. 25-1 might be a good price. Might be a good each way price because they're going to go off mad here. He'll enjoy some better ground. He'll also enjoy the pace that they get. He should settle a little bit better. I wouldn't put you off 25-1 there. Sempre Medici, Hargam, Little Rockefeller have got it all to do, and I don't think we'll be doing much here. Sign of a victory, 100-1, probably there for a bit of an owner's day out. But yeah, for the champion hurdle, I am siding with Nichols Canyon tomorrow, who can hopefully get us off to a flying start. Come on, Nichols and Paul Townend in that one. But yeah, wide open race. That, I would say, of the 4 is the toughest, the champion hurdle. It's been giving me headaches trying to work out that race. So that's the champion hurdle done with. Let's move on to the champion chase, day 2. For you, and you will know who's. It's a certain Willie Mullins, ridden by Ruby Walsh. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of those two, but yeah, here's the champion chase betting at the moment. 2 miles, of course, on day 2. Under so your 4-6 favourite. But again, Paddy Power, fair play to them for the odds that they're sticking out. And actually, on Paddy Power, if you it's the sort of the Mullins Hot Pots will have a good day tomorrow, then check out this day 1 treble. I've just put the link up for you guys. Should see it in a little bit. It should come up, a day 1 treble there if you wanted to get involved with that. But yes, this is the market for the champion chase. Under so, yeah, 4-5, that could be an outstanding price. I'm telling you, that could be a really good price under so. Sprinter Sacra, Dodging Bullets, Felix Younger, Special Tiara, all in there. Cider Grugy, 16-1. It's a big price about him, possibly. And Godzone at 33-1 as well. And 33-1 Bar. So a race that revolves around under so, and is a complete nutter, I think. Under so is fair to say, but he's settling a little bit better. If he stands up, I think he probably goes and wins this, doesn't he? Under so it's not an original selection, and I'm not the sort of punter or the tipster that would go in at 4-5 or go and help. But, one for your rackers, possibly, with the likes of Vroom Vroom, Mag and Limini, possibly. But yeah, I think under so is the classiest of these. Actually, he's never had a horse go past him. And that might sound weird because he's lost a couple, but that's been from him falling. And he fell on reappearance this year. He fell on reappearance last year. And I just think he's so fresh and keen. And I think he just almost needs that little bit of a fall just to wake him up and remind himself that he can't be a complete nutter during the race. So I think under so will take all of the beating. But, this is the festival. You're going to get plenty of value. And, I can't possibly be backing that price. Meister coming in. Excellent winner of the Arkle last year. Enjoys Cheltenham. Wouldn't want the ground to dry up too much. You wouldn't want it, too much good in the description, I would personally say, under so. But yeah, outstanding chance, and he should take all of the beating. You've got Sprinter Sacra, and what a story this would be. This would be another one. This would be another one where it would be an outstanding training performance by Nicky Henderson. He'd, Sprint and Sacre looked like he was almost gone at the game, didn't he, last season? But he seems to have got all of his, well, not all of his class, but maybe 90% of his class back in this, 90% of his class back at the moment. And I think, he's not the horse he was, there's no doubt about that, but he's still an outstanding horse. And that performance at Cheltenham back in November was superb, where he bolted up in the Schlur chase, leaving a few of his rivals between, well behind. He then went on to race at Kempton against Sire de Grugy and just got the better of Sire de Grugy. But you do feel as though possibly if Sire had jumped the last, if he jumped that well, that it might have been a different story. But what was great to see is Sprinter Sacre battling. It's something we'd never seen before. It's usually a bit of all or nothing. But 5-1 at the moment on Sprinter Sacre. I think they're going to be more positive with him. They're going to try and put it up to under so. I think they've realised that they need to stop riding him with so much care, and they've got to say, look, like the horse he was, and we've got to go for it. And I wouldn't be surprised if, 2 or 3 out, he comes there looming for under so. What he then finds, I don't know, but I think he'll make a real race of it. 5-1. Sprint Sacre is another one I couldn't back because you just don't know what you're going to get with him. You could be out of it by the first fence. And I think if you're watching racing and you enjoy racing, you shouldn't need to have a bet on Sprinter Sacre to be able to enjoy it if he wins. It would be just outstanding, and the atmosphere really would be something special because he was the horse of a lifetime, and it did look like he was gone at the game last year. So to have him back somewhere near his best would be extraordinary. But 5-1, I think that there'll be better 5-1 shots during the week. And we move on then to Dodging Bullets, who's a 12-1 shot. At the moment, last year's Champion Chase winner, of course, and did it in excellent style. But he did that after winning, the Clarence House, the Tingle Creek, and races like that. Superb trials for this, and he got tonked at Newbury by Top Gamble the other day. He'll need that run, of course he will. But is he the same horse he was last year? No, I don't think so. Is this a stronger Champion Chase? Yes, I think so, with Under So, especially, and Sprinter Sacre somewhere near his best. So couldn't be having Dodging Bullets at 12-1. I think you'd have wanted to see a lot more from him last time out. And the vibes from the Nichols camp have been really, really kind of 50-50, to be honest. I think they said they were expecting him to win. And then after the race at Newbury, they were saying they didn't quite think, or they thought he'll need the run and he'll come on for that. So couldn't have him. Felix Younger, 14-1. I think he's actually going to be going for the Ryanair. So that leaves us with Special Tiara at 14-1. And now I think this could be your each way bet, to be honest, a 14-1 shot in Special Tiara. He's a horse with course and distance form, placed in it last year. He'll look to serve it up to Under So as well, and because he's a serious front runner. And if Under So can go quicker, he's going very, very quick indeed with Special Tiara. And I think it could be the sort of race if they take each other on. I'm not sure they'll bottom out. I don't think Special Tiara is the sort of force that will bottom out. And if Under So goes off at a crazy speed, I think Noel Feely's got the he's got the class to to know if to maybe not make all of the running they want to. But yeah, there's not much else in this field I can see, and I think Special Tiara at 14-1. I'd have him in the first 3, definitely 3 places, quarter the odds for Special Tiara, and he'd certainly be my each way bet in this one. I think Under So will win. I think he'll probably finish second or third to him. I'd love to see Sprinter involved, but cannot have him at the prices as such. And yeah, I'm enough of a racing fan that I don't need him to win as such to enjoy it. So yeah, definitely with Special Tiara, course and distance forms, as I said, great jockey booking. I think the Henry de Bromhead camp will have a really, really good season, really good Cheltenham, sorry. And yeah, I'll definitely be with him at 14-1, Special Tiara each way. And actually in the without Under So market, so you're taking him out of the equation, so it's to finish second to him, or to win the race without Under So. Special Tiara is a 5-1 shot in that market, and I think that could be a good bet as well. So yeah, each way at 14-1 and then 5-1 without Under So. Special Tiara, a horse that's been there and done it. I'm not saying he's improving much, but I don't think he'll need to hit the frame in this Champion Chase, and it could be all or nothing with Sprinter Sacre. Special Tiara, a good price for me at this stage. So that is the champion chase done. So we'll move on to the World Hurdle in just a second. But before that, I just wanted to talk to you guys quickly about FRT Gold. You'll see a link on the on this webinar right now, and on our Cheltenham preview right now, you should see the link for FRT Gold. And basically, I'm giving you guys a great offer to sign up to FRT Gold. You have to apply to FRT Gold. It's a service a little bit different from many, and you've got till 9:30 to do it. And it's just for you guys watching this Cheltenham preview. We're giving you a fantastic offer. If you click the link, frtgold.co.uk, click the link on the showcase here. But yeah, I wanted to talk to you about FRT Gold. Not only, let's start with the Cheltenham Festival, and I'm giving you previews for the big 4 races this year, of course, in this Cheltenham Festival preview. But if you're a Gold member, you're going to get tips for every single race at the Cheltenham Festival, in an in-depth analysis, looking at all of the things you might want, writing articles about them, and then giving tips at the end. So you get that with being an FRT Gold member, and you've got just over an hour or so to apply. So do get involved with FRT Gold. As I say, you do have to apply because it's a service where you need to stay disciplined. You need to make sure that you realize it's not a short-term fix, it's long-term profit. We've had an excellent start to 2016 so far. January and February, cracking months. I would class myself as the most honest tipster in the UK, and I will tell you that this week has been pretty crap. Simple. It just hasn't really gone our way. Week before Cheltenham is always a bit of a struggle. Can be tough to land winners. We've had a bit of bad luck, no doubt about that. Today's premium tip, for example, back down into a nice price from what we tipped it at. Best horse in the race, in my opinion, clattered the final 2 fences, lost all momentum, only lost in a photo finish. That's just a bit of bad luck, but that's the way it goes. But our members who have to apply, because as I said, it's not a service we let anyone into, they know they've got a betting bank big enough to deal with a losing run. And it makes those big days all the more sweeter because they're playing with profit. And that's all of our Gold members are doing. They're playing with profit. They know that they're going to have a good Cheltenham Festival coming up. We had a fantastic Cheltenham last year, and we're looking for the same again here. So yeah, you need to stay disciplined. You need to work out your betting bank, sort out your points per your betting bank, and we'll help you with all of that as well. But yeah, you do really want to get on it. I'm incredibly proud of this service. I think it's the best going, and yeah, long term you will make profit as long as you stay disciplined. And yeah, we do have some big paydays as well. We've had some huge paydays this year. Some of our members turning over thousands of pounds from lucky 15s and things like that. And then on, that does make the weeks that, like this week, that hasn't been that great, it does make it much easier as well. So yeah, that's FRT Gold. And so you've got till 9:30, so you've got just over an hour to apply. So I want to welcome as many of you guys in as possible to this excellent service. And it's a way of almost thanking you for watching this Cheltenham preview. So do get involved. So we'll talk about the World Hurdle next, shall we? Let's get involved with the World Hurdle. Thursday's feature, a 3-mile hurdle race where Thistlecrack absolutely dominates this market, and rightly so. Let's bring up some of the odds. Thank you all guys for watching as well, by the way. Can I just say it's a pleasure to have you all with me here. So many of you watching. Hope you're enjoying it. Hopefully you're getting some good insight as well. We've got about 20 minutes or so, 10 minutes on each race, and then we'll go over all of or as many questions as possible. So let's look at the World Hurdle market right now. And that should be up for you now. So Thistlecrack there at, what have we got? Even money, 6-5, 11-10, Coral 10-11. I wouldn't advise backing Thistlecrack now whatsoever. He will go off bigger on the day. I think in the morning you might even get 7-4, depending on what sort of week the bookies are having. I don't know, but don't back him now, because you will get a bigger price, because I think he's going to be one of the ones that they look to go after. And I personally can't see why. I think he is a good thing, Thistlecrack, at that kind of price. He's won all of the right trials, and we'll talk about that in a bit. Alpha de Zobo, that's a 6-1 shot. An improving sort from Ireland. Not sure he's quite up to this though. Cole Harden, the defending champion, varies from 6-1 to 8-1. So do just maybe even make a note of which bookies are the best price there. Vroom Vroom Mag, she won't run. She's running tomorrow. Sapphire de Rue, lots of positives for this. And then this one, shh, whisper. 14-1 to land this. Nichols Canyon, he won't run. Au Petit Soir and Cooley 16-1 and 20-1 respectively, and it's 25-1 bar those. So let's start with Thistlecrack. Why not? He has been an absolute revelation this season, and I actually know someone who works for the Colin Tizard Yard, and last year he said to me, there's this horse Thistlecrack, we think it's going to be an absolute monster. And I kind of looked at his form and thought, yeah, all right, 25-1 going to a novice hurdle at Aintree. I thought, man, just another load of trainer rubbish, really. But it proved to be the case. He knew what he was on about. Went and bolted up in an Aintree novice hurdle at 25-1. What an excellent shout that was. So, yeah, Thistlecrack has won. What's he won this season? He's won the long distance hurdle at Newbury. He's then gone on to win the long walk hurdle at Ascot and the Cleeve hurdle at Cheltenham. All those 3 times he hasn't had to come off the bridle. He's looked superb. He's improving all of the time. I can't think of a horse in training that has improved more than Thistlecrack at the moment. I think if he was in Willie Mullins' yard, 4-6, 1-2 even, he might be. I think it'd be a really short price if he was running for Mullins. So absolutely can see why they're all over Thistlecrack at the moment. And I do think he is one for your Ackers. But again, this is going to be a big field, and we're not here to really go massive on these sort of even money 11 to 10 shots. So we're going to look into the each way market and see what we can find here. Alpha de Zobo, I'm not a massive fan of him at 6-1. I think there's better value in the race, and I personally wouldn't be on that at the moment. Cole Harden, 7-1 shot. He's been laid out for this race. There's no doubt about that. Cole Harden, he's going to enjoy this good ground. Gavin Sheehan, the rider, said it's a case of catch me if you can. He'll go off in front on Cole Harden, but although he's been trained with one race in mind, which is, of course, the World Hurdle on Thursday, which he won so impressively last season, he still, I think, has been a little bit disappointing this season. He might not have been fully fit, but I wanted to see a little bit more. And he got absolutely spanked by Thistlecrack at Newbury a few starts ago. So Cole Harden, I think he'll make it a good test, and he'll test every bit of Thistlecrack, but not for me at that price again. Sapphire de Rue, second in the race last year. I'm not sure why he should reverse the form with Cole Harden, let alone beat the likes of Thistlecrack and Alpha de Zobo. But there's one I tipped up to our gold members in our magazine last month at 25-1, and it's now a 14-1 shot, and that is Whisper, a horse who apparently had an absolute nightmare getting fit for the World Hurdle last season, but he's worked really well this season and has had a much better preparation. And I think he's won the Liverpool Hurdle at Aintree, the last 2 runnings of that. And what Nicky Henderson has said is that he's got him in Aintree form heading to Cheltenham. This is a top quality horse. He's won Grade 1s, and I think at 14-1 he'll certainly do for me at the prices at the moment. 14-1 on Whisper right now. Looks to be a cracking price, and I think that this horse should be going well at those kind of odds. Nichols Canyon, he's in the betting, but he's not going to be entered in this as he runs in the Champion Hurdle tomorrow. Au Petit Soir, again, another one. I'm not sure why this horse is quite this price. He's clearly got talent, there's no doubt about that. But Au Petit Soir, he won the Coral Cup last season on British debut. Actually tipped him for that, but he didn't. If you look at the way that the weights are measured in a handicap like the Coral Cup, he didn't actually come out of it as the best horse. I think he was getting a lot of weight from Zabana, didn't beat him that far, and then he hasn't been seen since. So I don't see why he should be that sort of price for a championship race. It might be if he wins, fair play, but I couldn't be backing him. One I do quite like, another one that was 25-1 last month, is Kill Cooley for the Charlie Longston team. This horse has had a bit of a trouble preparation, but I think they've got him in top shape coming here, and I think Cooley should run a big race, especially at these kind of odds. He absolutely smashed Rock on Ruby, I think it was, at Wetherby last year, and I think he can outrun his price at the moment. The rest of them, although it's a big field, I don't think there's much depth in this World Hurdle at all, to be honest. I think Thistlecrack is a good thing, and then Whisper and Kill Cooley should both run big races. So yeah, that's the World Hurdle just about done with. So we'll move on to the Gold Cup next before answering your guys' questions. Thank you so much to all of you that are watching. Can't believe how many there are watching this, and hopefully you're enjoying it. So let's move on to the Gold Cup, and let's have a bit of a visual clue, shall we, with the Gold Cup. Let's watch last year's Gold Cup. I'll screen share that with you now. It's a little bit different this season, of course, because some of these aren't running, but it just shows you what it takes to win a Gold Cup. So we'll pick them up sort of turning for home at the moment. And this is Conigree, of course, the novice who won it. We'll just pause it here. You've got Conigree here, the novice who actually went on to win the Gold Cup, the first one in a long, long time. And that was a superb performance from Conigree. A real shame we won't see him this year because he would be favourite, no doubt about that. But yeah, he's not in there. But we've got running this year, we've got Jackadam in the hands of Ruby Walsh there, just about to jump the fence. That I don't like that horse's prep for this race at all. I don't like the fact that he fell last time out. But yeah, this really does show you what it takes to win a Gold Cup. It was a real test of stamina on this day. I think it's going to be a lot quicker ground here. It absolutely smashed it down on a Thursday night and Friday morning before the Gold Cup last year. And I don't think that it will be that testing this time out. But yeah, you just see them turning for home now. And it was an excellent race. I do think this is a really strong Gold Cup. I think this form is worth a lot as well. And yeah, there'll be a few horses looking to come back, but a lot of these won't be running in this year's Gold Cup, as there do seem to be a bit of a new brigade coming through, but it will be a fantastic race nonetheless. One that is running is, you'll see the grey towards the back there, Smad Place, and he's a real improved horse this season, but he didn't half get smashed by Conigree in this race. So yeah, we'll just fast forward it towards the end here. They're just about to take the final fences, and yeah, excellent performance from Conigree. Really enjoyed this being there. I couldn't have them last season at all. I didn't know why they were running in this, but it was an excellent decision. We've got Road to Riches in second there in the Jigginstown colours, but I'm hearing reports this horse could be going for the Ryanair, which seems a bit crazy considering his course and distance form. But Jigginstown, of course, have a really, really strong hold on the Gold Cup at the moment. So yeah, that's last year's Gold Cup. Let's move on to this year's. And I do think it is a vintage renewal. It really is a great race. This year's Gold Cup should be a cracker, the best there's been for a long time, I think. And we'll take a look at the odds now for the Gold Cup. And it's wide open as well. Again, I wouldn't be betting on this race at the moment. I don't think. I think if you haven't had your bet yet, I'd say wait, because bookies are going to go after some of these. And I think you want to wait till the ground as well, because it could make a big difference. So at the moment, at the prices we've got, Don Cossack, you're 4-1, Tor 9-2, Q Card, the reformed horse at this Q Card 5-1. I can't see him going off any shorter than that. He'll go big of the day. Don Poli 11-2, Jackadam 11-2, Smad Place 12-1, and 16-1 bar those. So this year's Gold Cup really is a cracking renewal, as I said. And at the moment, I would be in the Don Cossack camp. I think the ground's going to be ideal for this horse. He was, I wouldn't say he was unlucky in the Ryanair last time, but he was unlucky not to be closer. I don't think that was a vintage renewal of the Ryanair chase. I think Uxazondra got a bit of an easy lead out in front, and it was more AP McCoy winning the race than Uxazondra. And I think that now this horse is a bit older, he really does enjoy the test of stamina. I think 3 miles 2 on good ground will be ideal. Which horse Brian Cooper's going to choose, I don't know. I think he'll probably side with Don Poli, but Don Cossack will probably then get the in the hands of Davy Russell, and there's absolutely no problems with that for me. I think that should be a positive more than anything. I'm not sure Brian Cooper gets the best tune out of Don Cossack, and he's the highest rated chaser in training. He was absolutely superb at Aintree and Punchestown last year. He'll enjoy this ground, as I said, enjoy the trip, and actually he smashed the likes of Q Card and Jackadam, both at Aintree and at Punchestown last season. And that's got to be a serious bit of form worth noting. I love Gordon Elliott as a trainer. I think he's excellent. And I think at the moment, Don Cossack would be my strongest bet in the Gold Cup. But I would be waiting, because I think you'll get bigger than 4-1 on the day. You've then got Vitor, 9-2 shot, and the horse of all the class coming into this. A superb winner of the JLT Novices Chase last season, of course, the best performance of the festival last season. Was then chinned on the line in the King George. And just going back to the King George, of course, Don Cossack fell 2 out in that race. And I think he had Q Card's measure at the time. And the fact Q Card went on to win the race, you do wonder if Don Cossack would have got up. I don't really like saying he'd have won the race, because you don't know what was going to happen. But, if out of the three of them, again, I would side with Don Cossack if I knew he was going to stand up. But if you don't jump fences, you won't win races. So for Tor 9-2, the class in this race, and I don't think he got a very good ride from Ruby Walsh last time out. Ruby will admit that. I think he went a little bit too soon. He's a lot better at Cheltenham going left-handed in the spring than he is going right-handed in the winter. There's just no doubt about that. He improves about a stone for it. He's a winner of the Supreme. He's a winner of the JLT. Seems to love Cheltenham. The 2 times he's been breathtaking is both at Cheltenham. He's been superb. But a Gold Cup is a real test of stamina. And I just wonder if, he might be the horse travelling so well, jumping his fences the best, but whether something might just outstay him. And at 9-2, I couldn't quite have the Tour at the moment. But, you could get a bit of a bigger price about him. And it depends which one Ruby rides as well. I think he'll ride for Tour over Jacadam. But we'll see how that goes. Q Card, if you said to me at the start of the season that Q Card would be a 5-1 shot for the Gold Cup, well, I don't think anyone would have believed you. This horse almost looked gone at the game, a bit like Sprinter Sacra last season. And Colin Tizard not only has got superb improvement out of Thistlecrack, but what he's done with Q Card has been outstanding. He's been a winner this year of the Charlie Hall. He then went on to win the Betfair Chase, and then he won the King George, of course, just getting the better of the Tour. Flat track that day, and it looked as though he needed every yard of that 3 miles, but a 3 mile 2 at Cheltenham, I'm not sure that's ideal for him. He is a good festival horse. He's won a Ryanair and he's won a bumper, of course. He went on 40-1 when he won his bumper. And he's, if you look solely on form and what horse has done this season, then Q Card is definitely the bet. He's the form horse. He's won all of the key trials, but I'm just not sure that a Gold Cup is ideal for him. I'm not sure he wants that 3 mile 2 furlongs, and there might be something a little bit better than him in the race. He's a 10-year-old as well. I don't think they have a great record in the Gold Cup, but again, it would bring the house down, I think, if he were to do the job for Colin Tizard. You then got Don Poli, the horse that no one knows how good this horse is, lazy as anything. But if ever there was a horse bred for the Gold Cup, it is Don Poli, definitely. He should, he absolutely loves this kind of race. He'll love the stamina. Superb in the RSA Chase last season. And I think, if anything, the occasion of Cheltenham really does liven him up a little bit. He's so lazy in his races, but the big atmosphere might just liven him up. And, if he's in with a shout, if he doesn't get outpaced at any stage, and if he's in with a shout of a couple of fences to go, then he's going to have to go very, very close indeed. And I can't have him out the first 3. I think he'll finish in the first 3, but I'm not sure he's got quite enough class to win a Gold Cup. And as I said, I would be with Don Cossack at the moment. Wouldn't side with Jacadam. Just don't like horses coming in on the back of a fall. Smad Place hasn't got a good enough record in Grade 1s, no matter how improved he is. And I think he might just set the race up for some of the others. So it would very much be Don Cossack for me in the Gold Cup. And that is all 4 of the big races previewed. Hopefully we've pointed you in the way of a few winners. So just to recap, Champion Hurdle, we like Nichols Canyon at the moment. Looks to be a good price. Champion Chase, Underso, probably one for your Ackers, but don't go mad over it because, his jumping can be a bit sketchy. And Special Tiara in both the each way and the without markets. World Hurdle, Thistlecrack, a good thing in my opinion, but Whisper and Kilcooley could be 2 big each way prices to hit the frame. And I'm very much in the Don Cossack camp in the Gold Cup right now. So been in about 40 minutes or so. So we're going to go 10 minutes or so just answering any questions that you guys might have. We've got absolutely loads here, so I'm going to go through as many as I can. If I don't get to your question, I'm sorry, but yeah, we can't get to them all. One that almost everyone has asked, so I'll get to that. One of the aspects of the festival this week, and I'll go away from the big races here at the moment. It's in the Temps. The Temps final on the Thursday, which is usually a really competitive handicap, and I think it will be just that. And there's really good vibes about one at the moment on Thursday in that Temps. I'll just get the odds up for you actually now, so you can see exactly what race and what horse I mean. So the Temps final, yeah, really competitive, and it's a handicap, but I think this horse, they've been laying him out for this race. Charlie Longston thinks he's extremely well handicapped. And I think our camp would be my best big price shout at the moment. You can see him there, 14-1 with a few bookmakers in that race on Thursday, which will be St. Patrick's Day, of course, which should be a cracker. So, yeah, so many of you are asking that question. So that's my answer for that one. Let's go through a few others. How do I feel about Don Poli's chances on Friday? I think he can run a big race. Yeah, absolutely, he'll run a big race, but I don't think he'll be winning. Broadly speaking, how much is current form important versus the course specialist horse, which may not be in any form at the moment? Saying horses for courses springs to mind, but do you agree? That's a great question, actually. I think you almost need a bit of both to win at the festival. You need to be showing something, or you need to be extremely well handicapped. And, festival form is key. If you can't get festival form, get some Cheltenham form, because that can really work out well as well. But, obviously that's tough with some of the horses from Ireland if they're coming over for the first time. I think in some ways, approach it how you would a normal race. Approach it how you would, a normal 15, 16 runner handicap, especially. And, although it is competitive, you're getting so much value, and do your usual kind of workings that you do show. And then after that, see if maybe you've got 2 or 3, then you can start looking at course form and things like that. But ideally, you want a horse to be in good form and you want it to handle the track. No doubt about that. 2 things I'd like to know. Some trainers will be looking out for, some smaller trainers during the week, those with records. Those with great records despite small number of runners. So a smaller trainer to keep an eye on. There's a trainer, I've mentioned Charlie Longston. I think he could have a good festival. Dan Skelton as well, I think will have a decent one. And then a trainer called Neil Mulholland is really, really shrewd. He had his first winner with the Druid's Nephew last year, and I think he can land a handicap or 2 as well. So those would be 3 names I'd kind of keep an eye out on, especially Charlie Longston horses on better ground. I think he'll enjoy that. Let's have a look. What else have we got here? Will Annie Power get up the hill? No. Is Min good enough to win? Yes. I'd like to know what you think of Sprinter Sacre in the Queen Mother Champion Chase. It's a case of something or bust for Sprinter Sacre. I think he'll either be right there or a bomb out. I'd love to see him do it, but you can't have him. That was from Chris Edmonds. Thanks for that. What have we got here? Barter's Hill, who runs in the Albert Bartlett Novice Chase. I think Novice Hurdle is unbeaten. What would you say his main rival will be? Funny horse, Barter's Hill. He seems to always hit a flat spot, but he's got so much class and so much and such a good desire to win, I think. And I think he's the most likely winner at Albert Bartlett, but a horse called Shantou Village can certainly put it up to him. What is the feeling about the Mullins team this year? I think they're in great form. They'll have a big festival. He'll be leading trainer, and he'll probably have about 8 winners. Probably the same again. And he'll pop up in a couple of handicaps where you think he didn't have a chance as well. So, yeah, I think he'll have a good week as always. Let's see if we can get a few more of these questions before we finish off. Will the clerk of the course water the ground? Yes, probably. If they don't have any rain, might even water it maybe Thursday night. They don't want it on the quicker side of good. Let's have a look. What else have we got here? Where is the best place to watch the first race? On a telly, Channel 4. Best bet of the week is 12-1 or more. Our Camphor, I said, I think is a good one. Q-Card is a good bet for me. Tell me your thoughts. Yeah, decent bet, but just maybe easy getting on a bit. I don't know. I don't think he can win a Gold Cup, personally. I'm going to say it. It will be my first visit to Cheltenham Thursday and Friday. What would my best bet be? I think on the Friday, I think Don Cossack is up there. And also, horse called All Yours, I think running in the County Hurdle, has been given a bit of a shout by Paul Nichols. Mr. Mullins and Ruby will dominate the headlines. Yep, they will. That's not really a question, is it? Thanks, Derek, anyway. Let's see if we've got any more we can quickly run through. But thank you for all those questions, guys. They've been great, and hopefully you've enjoyed it. Please give me one banker for each of the 4 days. Right, if you want to do short odds for the 4 days, I don't think there's really much on the final day that's a short. I mean, yeah, put Barter's Hill and on the Tuesday, the so-called banker, I would say Vroom Vroom Mag. I can't have that beat. I think that'll win. On the Wednesday, day 2, it's not original, but I think Under So will win. You could put Duvan in on the first day as well. He'll win. On the Thursday, Limini and the Mayor's Hurdle. Can't see that beating, to be honest. I think that's a good thing. And then perhaps Barter's Hill. I think there'd be your shorties that are maybe the best ones for your Ackers, but it's Cheltenham and a few things can go wrong. We've all seen it, especially with Annie Power last year. So, yeah. Rebecca Curtis stable. Any info of horses? Horses he's haven't been running many. Rebecca Curtis always seems to pop up with at least one winner, and I wouldn't be surprised if she did so again. It's a yard that's always in and out of form, but yeah, she's a very good trainer, and she might just have a good festival again. So, guys, that's it for our Cheltenham preview. Can't wait for it to all start tomorrow. Should be an outstanding day of racing. I think that Tuesday is the best day of them all. We're ready for the Cheltenham Roar at 1:30 as the Supreme Novices Hurdle gets underway. Thank you guys so much for watching. A reminder to take up that offer for FRT Gold. I make it just before 10 to 9 now, so you've got just over 40 minutes to get involved with that offer for FRT Gold. We'd love to have you on board, but just yeah, as long as you know the right kind of rules and stuff like that. But yeah, really looking forward to the festival. Yeah, you've got 40 minutes to get on the FRT Gold offer. Thank you so much for watching today. We'll speak to you later. I'll leave a page up to show you how to get that FRT Gold offer, and I'll wish you all a very good night, and here's to an excellent festival. Thank you, and bye-bye.